They say that timing is everything, and the other night when I was flying my drone, it's fair to say I got the timing wrong. So don't go away. Hey guys, Mike here and welcome back to the channel. Now there's something to be said for being in the right place at the right time. But the other night I found myself and my Mini 2 drone were in the right place at the wrong time. Let me explain. It's lockdown here in New Zealand at the moment, and on a very still night I wanted to try and do some night photography with my Mini 2 drone, in particular to get some long exposure photos. I've been trying to do some with my DSLR like this one and wanted to get a different perspective and try and capture some light trails. There's very little traffic on the road at the moment because of the lockdown, but there is a little bit, so I thought I'd try my luck. So I launched the Mini 2 with a fully charged battery and headed off down the road, gaining a little bit of height so I could get a good angle, but not too high, otherwise I'd be breaking the rules. I hit record just out of habit, and actually the footage that came out of the camera was pretty cool. Here's a little bit of what I captured, but if you want to skip this bit, check out the timestamps in the description below. But make sure you stay with us so I can explain what happened as the night unfolded. Now while I was up there, I did manage to capture a few cool images of the surrounding area, and like any drone photos, even if you're familiar with a particular area, it's always cool seeing it from an aerial perspective. Anyway, there wasn't too much traffic on the roads as I said, but I did manage to get one reasonably good image that I was pretty happy with. Once we're out of lockdown and there's much more traffic on the road, I'll give this another go and I reckon I'll be able to get some pretty cool shots. So I'd had the drone up for around 20 minutes and I was keen to get it back to then get the images onto my computer and see if they're any worth using. It's definitely one thing seeing them on your phone screen, but another ball game altogether when you get them onto a bigger screen so you can see much more of the detail. It's only then that you can determine whether the image is worth using and whether you can do any editing in a photo editor like Lightroom, which is one of the platforms that I use. So I brought the drone in and I had to do a hand landing. I did have flashbacks to a little incident I had recently, link in the description below. And also, for those of you who have seen my first flight footage, you'll appreciate why I have to do a hand landing where I live. Link to that video also in the description below. So I came inside so I could transfer the files from the drone's SD card onto my computer, and literally a couple of minutes later we heard an enormous crashing noise outside. We ran out to the balcony to see a small truck had smashed right into the traffic light at the intersection across from the apartment complex. Now there was literally no other traffic on the road, so it was hard to figure out exactly what had happened. Perhaps they were drunk or stolen it or something, who knows. But then just when I was about to phone for an ambulance, the truck started backing up and then it proceeded to head off down the highway. But because there was so much damage done to the truck and there was bits hanging off it and underneath it, as it moved up the road there were sparks flying everywhere. We just really couldn't believe what we were seeing. So I got on the phone to the police and explained what was going on. By this time lots of people had come out of God knows where and had started running over to the crash site. They were picking up all sorts of debris off the road, which looked to be some sort of large canisters like oxygen tanks, as well as bumper pieces, wing mirrors. The truck had hit the pole with such force that it just seemed to disintegrate like a transformer. Anyway, then the police turned up. They turned around and took off in the other direction up the highway to catch up with the truck. They were pretty fast actually. When I was on the phone, I was sure to let them know that it was in progress, gave them an accurate address, and so the police control centre at Northcom could actually direct the closest units to the scene. Now I've been inside the Northcom centre and sat with one of the call operators, and it's pretty fascinating to hear those sorts of things play out in real life and in real time, but that's a story for another day. So what does all this have to do with timing? Well, I was kind of gutted because I had the drone up in the air right over the same area literally a few minutes before it happened. I was flying right there for over 20 minutes and missed all the action by just a few minutes. I could have gotten footage and pictures of the accident site. Hell, I might even been able to catch the accident on film, but at the very least I could have got footage of the truck driving off, sparks, everything. Anyway, it was a bit of a shame, but it was an exciting hour or two nonetheless. I presume the driver was caught by the police. I'm pretty sure he couldn't have got too far, especially with the truck in such a bad state. And given they were able to drive off, I guess they weren't hurt, or not too badly anyway, hopefully not. So given there's not much to do in lockdown here, we got a bit of entertainment, if you can call it that, and watched all the comings and goings as the police did some investigation at the accident scene. The fire department turned out, I guess in case there was any fuel spill or anything like that. The company that looks after the traffic lights came and inspected the pole, but got to say that thing was rock solid. I actually went across after everyone had left, so it was probably around midnight at this stage. There was still a bit of glass on the road, but most of the big stuff had been swept up, and the pole had lost a little bit of paint, and you could see in the road the gouges where the damaged truck made when it backed up and took off. Anyway, that was something that broke up the monotony of lockdown, and thanks for sticking with the video. I've made some other videos about how to capture cinematic footage with the Mini 2 drone, so if that's something you're into, check them out. Cheers guys, and no matter where you are, stay safe.